is the main organizer of the Ludum Dares, which is done primarily through the PegGem organization. However, IGDA, along with some other local partners, have helped out to try to make this show and this whole event a success. So basically, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some recent news within the community, talk about some games that are coming out. There's actually quite a roster of community that I'll just briefly go over. For those who don't know who we are, I'm going to talk a little bit about who IGDA Winnipeg is. So IGDA Winnipeg is the local chapter of the International Game Developers Association, which is the world's largest nonprofit organization serving individuals who create games. For us here locally, we want to empower and build an inclusive community, provide educational opportunities, such as things like this game jam, and increase awareness of the local industry. When it comes to education and increasing awareness, that's where this whole next section comes in. So in terms of increasing sort of educational opportunities, one thing that some of you may have heard of if you follow us on Twitter, Winnipeg, is that a bunch of companies, including BitSpace Development, Complex Games, Flipside XR, and then the company that I co-own, Zenfry, all got together to contribute some books to the Winnipeg Public Library. And those books are currently on order, and there'll be more news about what specifically was ordered when we get to it. But essentially, we worked with the Manitoba Public Library directly, ordered books through their channels, and the list was generated in this very community-oriented way. Essentially, there was a conversation on the local Discord, PegGem Discord, which I assume this event is running through, about building a book collection, or at least building up a place that it lists the books that people should read. And with that conversation, there was some discussion about what to do if we were to make these books or get these books. Should we have our own collection? And the people in the conversation basically determined that the Winnipeg Public Library is the most accessible and central place, and the best way to have people who aren't in the community find the books and get engaged. So we sort of went ahead and contacted a few of the local companies to see if they would be willing to contribute. And so there's been a donation made. Some books are being ordered, and there'll be more details about what was ordered soon, but we're sort of extremely excited about it. And I hope that this might be something we can do on a recurring basis and maybe open it up a little more widely in future years. In terms of making people aware about the community, there's 3 games. One of them is, again, has a trailer that's just dropped that's huge and everyone needs to know about. And the other 2 are games made by people locally, at least in part, that are coming out soon. The first one is Doka Doka Anomaly. Now, Doka Doka Anomaly is made by a new company called Flighty Felon Games. Rebecca Harrison, for anyone who knows, is the sort of founder of this company. And their game is releasing on Steam October 6th. And I just thought, as opposed to me talking, I would just play you a little trailer that talks about the game. So that's Doka Doka Anomaly, or SCP:anomaly. You can find it on Steam October 6th. I've been speaking to Rebecca. We're actually planning some other events after the game came out to maybe explore the game more as a community. But obviously in that release window, she and her team are going to be very, very busy. But it's always exciting to see a new indie firm get started. And I personally think Rebecca is one of the most talented young developers in the city. And so I wish them the greatest success with this game, and I hope you check it out. The next one is Moonglow Bay. Now, Moonglow Bay is made by an international team largely in places outside of Winnipeg. However, one of the developers is Albertine Watson, who's a designer on the game. And that game is coming out right away too. And if you follow them on Twitter or follow us when we do retweet about it on Twitter, you'll see that there's a lot of excitement and interest about this game. So I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware that this game is coming to Steam, Xbox, Epic Games on October 26th. There's a lot of great trailers and content about it. And if you want to support local developers or support Albertine, you know, check out this game and give it a play. The final game I want to talk about is Chaos Gate, which is made by Complex Games. Complex Games is the city's oldest video game studio. They essentially, studios like mine, benefited a lot from all the pioneering work in terms of setting up a community that Complex Games did. And they're also the largest locally grown studio or indie studio in the city. And they have just really knocked the doors off their latest game. They've made Warhammer games in the past, and those were great games too. But they're sort of just, they're making me as another developer extremely envious of what they've been able to pull together. So I just wanted to show you the gameplay trailer for their game, which is coming out next year. But you know, if you want to support local development, if you want to show the world that Winnipeg can make high quality video game content that's, you know, can go toe to toe with even some AAA games, I think you know, look at what they're doing over at Complex Games, and you can see what we're capable of here in Winnipeg.
The bloom, a foul contagion of untold malice, consuming all in its path. We are powerless against it. We call upon you now, in our darkest hour. O hunters of demons, strike down this corruption, for it is your duty.
Some fabulous work, and that's what I hope comes, you know, as you're making these games, these very small games, you know, you can look at all these games and see different things. So like, I know when it comes to Flighty Felon games, like they started, like you should go look at Rebecca Harrison's collection of games that were made at Ludum Dares or other Dares. Like they're extremely inventive and fun games, and it's leading her towards building a studio. Complex Games have been at it a long time, and if you keep at it, I believe other people in the city can make us games at the same level as what Complex is doing. So even if it's not your style of game, I you know, support it in any way you can. I think it's really amazing the things that they're doing, and you know, it's just awesome. Now, the last couple pieces here is these games weren't selected because I'm somehow like, you know, biased towards these organizations. These are the ones that I noticed on Twitter, essentially. And so if you have a game coming out or some big announcement you want to tell, send us an email. We want the community to know the awesome things you're making. So send it to us, and we'll make sure next time we do an event like this that we try to squeak in or even include a huge component about your game. Game developers, big or small, I think everyone needs to kind of know what everyone else is making, and it's the best way to find out what's out there for the community. So I hope everyone enjoys this jam. Thank you very much for coming and enjoy, and I'm very happy to be able to be a part of this event.